And welcome to Let's Play Blightfall, Episode 1. Very excited to start this series. I realize that I've got a number of older series that aren't finished yet, and some of which I'm frankly not going to finish. For example, my Let's Play Vanilla Minecraft series, I think it's only 8 episodes, but I'm just not going to finish it. But I digress. Let's focus on this playthrough, which is Let's Play Blightfall. And Blightfall is a mod pack that was created and is under the Technic launcher, created by Talanos. Great mod pack. In fact, I would almost argue that it's probably the pinnacle of individualized custom mod. Somebody who took a bunch of mods and made them play nice together and balanced it out and took away certain overpowered features and balanced out some of the other things to make them one coherent, thoughtful set of mods that's really fun to play. So that's why I'm so excited to start this. Let's create a world here. Let's call it Let's Play World. Survival, and that's pretty much all we can do as far as setting up the world. Now, the world is the same regardless of how you start this process, so it doesn't matter what I call the world or anything like that. Really all that matters right now is the fact that, well, it's going to take a minute to load, which is fine. I'm going to keep talking while it's loading and talk a little bit about the mod pack. So the idea behind Blightfall, and you can look up the lore on this as you do your own playthroughs or watch other people's Let's Plays. There are books and characters that explain this in more detail, but essentially you're on a colony ship and you're trying to colonize this planet, and it looks good from long distance away, but when you get up to the planet, it appears to be completely covered and infected with this blight, this taint, this purple infection that some of us are going to recognize from Thaumcraft. So your job as a character is to go down and fix the planet so it can be colonized. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. Let me start out by going over here. Now, there's a few things you can do on the ship. You can look at high scores, and you can look at, I mean, they've got a lot of cool stuff. They've got like 3 or 4 decks. This is a really well-built thing, by the way. You know, you can go up to the other deck, or you can go down to another deck, I think, or I don't even remember what's all back here. I think this is just like it's like a balcony thing with a reactor core. I mean, there's like crew quarters and stuff. It's a very well-built ship, but it's just a storytelling exposition point. It's really not part of the gameplay that you're going to be engaged in. That being said, there's a few things you can do here. First of all, you can take this book. It's not anything special, but you can grab that. I mean, if you really wanted to, I think there's a thing that says you're not supposed to break blocks on here, but you can. I mean, you've got a dandelion and a pot. Not that it really matters that much, but well, anyway. And then there's this guy. This is how you win the game. You talk to that once you've cleared the planet. This thing over here is a teleporter. Ooh, fancy signs. Bibliocraft. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is sort of like a... Can I grab this? Anyway. So this is basically the game just kind of telling you to not break blocks in here, and it's kind of cheaty. And I agree, like, it's not a good thing to do, so I'm not going to do much of it. Mostly what I'm doing is I'm grabbing some superficial things. I think that book, though, was fair game. It was just laying there. For example, I could take part of this table if I wanted to, I think. It's a ghostwood table. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Actually, I think I need an axe to do that. Okay, let's talk to this guy. What happened? Some went insane and turned on their companions. Some were hunted by swarms of alien insects. Some were blah, blah, blah. So previous attempts failed, essentially, is what he's getting at. What do I do? So you go to the view screen, and you can tell where the biomass is infected. So basically right now you can't really do anything with this, but this is the map of the world. By the way, if I push M, we've got the voxel map, which, by the way, normally if you just were to download, like, say, an older version of voxel map, it's really not a very good mod. But this is, like, the newest version. It's got a lot of features, and I also think the mod pack creator might have done some little tweaks to make this a more functional system. So it's a really good mod in this context. At least that's my experience. So this is the map. As you can see, it looks like a alien with a beak or something. And there it is again, except for this time it's all flashing red, which means it's with a few exceptions, like right there. We're basically talking about a land that is infected by the blight. He says you can see the drop pod locations if you look closely. I've played around a little bit with this. This happens to be the main one that people go to, Alpha. There's this one down here somewhere. Where is it? There maybe? Beta? There's one up here somewhere, I think. There's Ocean one. There's one down in the desert, I think. There, yeah. So, I don't really want to stick around here too much and do all this boring stuff, but you can ask him about that. But if you say just here to chat, you can basically say, next time you come by, I'll give you some of my rations. So that's a good thing to say, but there's also, I think, a way to break that so he doesn't give you the rations. So basically, just talk to him, warm him up, and don't be pushy. Okay, let's talk to her. Now, in order to go down to the planet to start curing it of its disease, first of all, she tells us about the different possible locations we can go, and second of all, she says that we receive assignments via the quest book. All right, so that's important. Let me say, any advice? Ask for food if you're in a tight spot. Conserve energy. The biomass will hurt you over time. If you stay well fed, you can actually walk on it. This is something that I see in a lot of Let's Plays, is people are just terrified of walking on the blight. Ask for seeds whenever possible. Okay, so that's great. Let me say which one. Alpha is in the grassland, probably the easiest. Savannah is beta, also pretty easy. Gamma is in the taiga. Delta is in the clay arches. Epsilon is in the middle of the desert. Omega is by far the hardest in the middle of the ocean. So I'm thinking that I want medium difficulty, because I see a lot of Let's Plays just do alpha. I have actually not seen one that did beta, which would be okay, but I don't even like the beta location. Let me just kind of go back here. So you can actually see them better on this map. So here's alpha. Again, I've looked at this a little bit on my own. Here's omega, which is the one under the ocean. Here is, I want to say that's Gamma, the taiga one. Now here's beta down here on a savanna surrounded by these villages, interestingly enough. And then we've got, this is either epsilon or delta. I'm sorry, that one is. And then this one is the other one. So those are our choices. I'm actually curious about starting in one of these two or the taiga. I think those are the medium difficulty ones. I think the gamma one would be a little tricky for now. Honestly, this one's probably the most fascinating one to me, this one in the Mesa section here. And it's kind of centrally located, so maybe I'll do that one. Although this one is kind of fun looking too. I've actually only played this once, and I've done the alpha one. And alpha is very convenient and very easy. So let's do this one in the Mesa. How about let's do that one, okay? So, okay, let's just get going here. Let me ask her again. I forget which one is which. Delta, okay. So I want to go to Delta. Here we go. Okay, great. And you can tell it's got this yellow. I was just trying to see if there's any coherent message that is implied within the colors. Okay, Delta, here we go. You completely comprised of clay. Nearby alien metals will not help you progress. You will be dropped near a bay. The access to the sea will make exploration easier and safer. Do you wish to proceed? Yes. Okay, here it goes. Okay, so here we are in our little biopod. Now, first thing you're going to notice is this crazy, scary looking tentacle, which could easily kill me right now. And I'm definitely not going to mess with that. But you can see there's taint all over. This purple stuff, that's called taint, and it's all over. Now, the good news is this tree appears to be protecting us from the taint, so that's good. Now, there's a couple things we can do right away. First of all, we've got this compressed dirt, which I'm going to grab up all this dirt. Compressed dirt is basically 9 blocks of dirt all together. As you'll see, there's no trees, but let me back up here because I'm getting ahead of myself. So, looking at the quest book, you can read all this, and I encourage you to at your leisure. Click there to start. Now, a couple things. The reputation system. There's the main mission outlook, which is basically from the people on the ship wanting me to cure the planet. Then there's this Dark One's impressions, which is a different thing that we don't know about yet, and I actually don't even know what that is all about, even though I've played this before. But if you click on quest, you can go to instructor. There's all these different quest lines, but the instructor is the one we're going to start with. So first of all, what he wants me to do is, if you're ready to start, please deliver a dirt block, basically. That helps them let them know that you understand how to do their system of hardcore quest mod accomplishments, which is what that book is from. The quest book that we have that I just opened up is from the hardcore quest mod mod. So they want us to basically demonstrate our basic knowledge or ability to handle that system, which is fine and great. Okay, so there we go, and let me grab this as well. Actually, I kind of want to not grab that. Okay. By the way, I put these compressed blocks in here, I can expand that out. So I've got exactly 57 dirt to work with now, and that's great. And I've got this one water block here, and easily I could get more water, but this is a good starting place. Okay, so let's go to the thing, and let's manual submit our one dirt block here. We're going to get 1 mission outlook reward, reputation. So if I go back to this screen, I'm up to 1. Now, that's still concerned, but it's not poor or failing or canceled. So that's good. So if I go back to instructor, now I can requisition an oak sapling. So they want me to grab an oak sapling from the supplier chain. Here's supplier. And then once I have that, they'll give me bone meal. So they want to kind of teach me how to use different quest lines now. So if I go to supplier, I click on that. The only one that I can do right now is the starter sapling. So I'll go ahead and claim that reward. So I got an oak sapling. And by the way, if I go back here, that didn't change my reputation at all. So now I go back to instructor, and I click on this, and I show proof that I've got the oak sapling. They're going to give me some bone meal as a reward. See? Easy peasy. And then they want me to get some wood. So clearly, in order to get the wood, I'm going to have to grow one of these trees. So I think what I'm going to just do, you've got a little bit of space limitation, and you definitely don't want to do anything to hit that tree. So I'm going to go right about there with my oak sapling, and things grow a lot slower in this mod, so you have to keep in mind that when you bone meal stuff, it's going to take a lot more bone meal than you might be used to. But clearly it's the same process as vanilla Minecraft. You just punch the tree, grab some wood, and that will be a very important resource to get started with. Okay. So, and great, we've got an extra sapling, which I'm going to immediately replant, and I'm going to go ahead and set up another, okay, just go right there, a tree, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's keep it even, right about there, and 1, 2, 3, 4. How about 1, 2, 3, 4? By the way, this is a teleporter. Something you really want to do right away is go ahead and right-click on that. You can go back to your ship using the teleporter right away, and there's other places you can go later. So you definitely want to grab that. Okay. So as that's going down, let me go to the quest thing and turn in. So they want me to create a crafting table now. So let's grab that, and we'll go ahead and create our crafting table just like vanilla. And I'm going to stick that right there. Oops, I actually need to hold that. I think I need to hold it in my inventory to turn in the quest. So let me go ahead and, yeah, I'll turn in that. And I get some reward, so I got some more reputation. Now, there's this one that opens up here. Farming might be hard, and food is scarce. To counteract that, they're going to give me bone meal each time I do this quest, and it reopens every day or so. So I don't know what this block is, but I'm going to go ahead and claim my bone meal for today. And great. By the way, let's do something fun. Let's put some decorations and stuff up. So let's put this. I don't need 3 beds. I just need 1 bed really. But let's put this here so we have a little life to our situation. And let's put a sign. And we're going to put, how do you... I don't even remember how to use the fancy signs, to be honest. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, okay, so let's plant the other sapling. So we got a 3-to-1 sapling drop on that oak tree, which is pretty typical. I think that's exactly the same as vanilla would typically be. But I could be wrong about that. I'm just going to create a little bit more here. Okay, so one thing about this mod that I think they did really well is they have disabled the creation of standard vanilla tools. You can't just take 2 sticks and 3 pieces of wood and slap it together and call it a pickaxe, because that's, well, first of all, it's not realistic, but you know that never stopped anybody before. Really what they're getting at is that it's too easy to do it that way, to do things that way. So what we're going to do is open the quest book and go back to the instructor page. And so there's this option here about whether you have to do tutorials or whether you don't have to do tutorials on creating tools using this tinkerer way. And that's a reference to the Tinker's Construct mod. Now I'm going to do the tutorials because A, it's good to watch how to do that, and B, it is useful to you get a couple of reputation for each one that you do, or 1, so you just add to your reputation slightly. So what they want me to do first is create a blank pattern. So in order to do that, you just do this. You do this cross section there, and I'm going to actually create another thing of blank patterns while I'm at it, just so I have the extra patterns available. Okay, so with that, I'll go ahead and turn that one in. I'll get my reward, and it'll move me on to build a part builder and a pattern chest. Okay, so I'm doing this really fast, obviously, but most of these things that we're going to be building, actually, one thing I'm going to do right away is I'm going to grab this back real quick. In Tinker's Construct, you can craft using just a crafting table and make a crafting station, and that has certain advantages. I actually don't like them as much because they're a little bit clunky, and I like it when your objects get spit back when you don't make something. But as you can see, this holds an inventory, so it's not going to spit it back at you. If I were to create a normal crafting table here, like this, and if I were to go over there and put the wood, on that, it would spit it out if I didn't create anything, which I actually kind of like better than this, but this has its uses too. Okay, so it wants me to create a pattern chest and a part builder. So what you're going to do is grab a chest like so, and then put a blank pattern on top of it. There's your pattern chest. You're going to create a part builder. You're going to just put actually that's a stencil table. So that's on a piece of wood, and then in order to create a part builder, you create a crafting station, and actually that's a tool station. I'll need that anyway. You put a log and a stencil on top of the log, and then you get your part builder. Okay, so I just created 4. Again, the bottom components are a chest, a crafting table, a plank, and a piece of wood or a log, and that will give you those 4 things as long as you put a stencil on top of each one. Okay, so that probably speeds these quests along. So they wanted me to build a part builder and a pattern chest, so I'll go ahead and claim that reward. Now they want me to build these actual parts. So in order to build those parts, we're going to take our pattern chest, by the way, I'm going to put our stencil table down here as well. This allows us to create new stencils, and that's something that we don't really have to do right now because, well, we've got this chest, and they've programmed it so the chest comes with a whole bunch of stencils automatically. I'm going to put these, I can't do that, okay. So I'll put these in the stencil table. So if I wanted to create new stencils, I would just use this, and I would click on whatever stencil I wanted, and then I would click there to grab it or whatever. But I'm not going to do that right now. It wants me to specifically grab pickaxe head, binding, shovel, and axe heads. So what we do to do that is we grab, I'm going to need more wood here, but we're going to put some wood in here, and then we grab, this is accessing the pattern chest right back here, and so we're going to grab whichever ones they want us to make. So I'm going to grab the pickaxe first, our tool binding. By the way, sometimes it spits out extra things like a stick in that case. Axe head and shovel head. All right. Grab my wood back, and there we go. Okay, oh, I'm going to grab that apple and those saplings. Great. I wonder, I thought I had a, oh, I bone mealed it. That's right. Okay, so I do have some food now, which is good. Now, we've got the parts we need, so we're going to turn that in, grab an extra reputation. They want us to build a tool station. We already did that. Again, that was the one with the crafting bench with a stencil on top of it. So we're going to grab that one, and then they want us to finally go ahead and build a pickaxe and a mattock. So in order to build a pickaxe and a mattock, we go to our tool station, which is going to be right here. We already built that again. It's the crafting table with a stencil on top. And they want us to go ahead and assemble these tools. So we've actually got one stick. We're going to need a second stick. Or, if you want to get really technical, a wooden tool rod. And I'm not 100% sure exactly what the ratio is, but there's a lot of situations where you can simply use a stick instead of a wooden tool rod. I think almost always, but you need to have a tool rod pattern for a number of other things that you're going to be doing later. I think it's just a simplification that basically a stick and a tool rod are the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and make these into wood here. And let me show you just, you know, if you wanted to make the tool rod, you'd simply go like this. And you get the wooden tool rod, and then you get a stick anyway. So, again, the stick we're familiar with. Tool rod has a few additional tool tips on it. A break chance, a weight, a durability. I think those are going to be the same for the stick. They're just not displayed here because the stick tooltip doesn't know you're going to use it in a tinker's tool. Okay, so to make a tinker's tool, you got to have the components, and then you click on what you want to make. So let's start with a pickaxe. So basically just paint by numbers. Stick these things where they go here. And let me show you this. You can put the tool rod in there, and that'll work. Or you can put the stick in there, and that'll work too. I'm going to use the tool rod. We got a wooden pickaxe there, and then to make a mattock, click on mattock. And again, this would be a tool rod or stick, axe head, shovel. Boom. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna, this bookshelf here, all it is extra quest books. So you can keep one if you want, but leave the rest up there. 'Cause they're useful if you were like die or something. So keep growing these trees here, but in the meantime, let me. Should I grow more trees? Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably need to swing it around somewhere. Oops, maybe right there. Okay, so that gives us plenty of space to grow trees. This way I'm kind of conserving bone meal by allowing multiple trees to be growing all at the same time. I really should not be running around like I just was there, because energy is an issue in this game. Okay, so anyway, we've got our tools. Let's go ahead and turn those in. That one gives us +3, and that's actually the end of the tutorial. Now we can grab this book here now. And there's going to be some other quests that open up. They definitely want us to build a flint pickaxe soon. They want us to start making bread soon. But I grabbed this book here, and actually it gave me 2 books. So you get tools and modifiers, and that unlocks some things. And you unlock these things as you go, and it'll tell you. But basically the tools and modifiers tell you about different tools you can use and what they're good for. So the Maddock is a versatile farming tool, acts as a shovel and an axe and a hoe. And the primary use is hoe, but it kind of acts as a shovel and an axe, especially on dirt, and an axe on wood. So it's a versatile tool. You got these weapons here. We're going to get to that. And you've got all these additional things, modifiers and stuff like that we're going to get into later. But that's what that book is all about. I know most of that information, so I'm just going to put that away. The other one, which I actually think is more useful in this particular mod pack, is this Where to Mine book, I think it's called, Mining and Resource Collection. So basically, it's going to go through stone, gravel, all these different materials, and it's going to tell you where you can find them. This is a rough mini-map of our setting here. So, by the way, I'm going to try to keep these episodes about half an hour or so. So we're going to be finishing up this one in about 5 minutes. But this tells us where to look for stuff. So it told us to look for flint right away. And flint, as we know, comes from gravel, including in this mod pack. So gravel is located everywhere. Very easy to get, everywhere except for oceans, between 0 to 64 height. Much rarer in swamps, uncommon in desert. I don't know if that means anything for this particular location. But basically what they're implying here is that we're going to need to be going underground. And we will momentarily. And I'm going to look at that book more in the future. But right now I'm going to actually do something. I'm going to break that. Now, some people are going to be uncomfortable with me breaking that. And one could argue, like, in a role-playing context, we shouldn't break that. But there's actually already a break in our dome. It's right up there. And so there's nothing really important about our dome being completely airtight. I'm just going to pop out of here. Now, the taint won't go into the dome because of this tree. It's not the glass barrier. The glass barrier helps kind of make it feel more protected, and it keeps the mobs out for sure. But by breaking it there strategically, we have the water pushing the mobs out anyway. I could grab some of that sand, actually, but I'm not going to. So that just opens up this world for us. Now, we do have this ocean access here, and we could go down there. There's some mobs that I don't want to deal with right now. And there's a little boat we can see over here. And we're going to definitely go over there. But I just wanted to demonstrate that you can go ahead and break out of your shell right away. And for that matter, you could close it up. It doesn't matter. I could put blocks here to close that off, and it would be fine. But I'm going to keep it open for now, because I like this aesthetic of the water flowing out. So it wants us to mine. I'm going to go over here because I feel like, I actually think I should probably mine west. So I'm going to mine west. In order to get down, I want to basically mine straight down and going across like that. So I'm under the channel. So why don't I go right down here next to our tentacle friend, our disgusting tentacle friend. You know what I'm going to do before I do anything else? I'm going to kill him. He is making me uncomfortable. So in order to kill him, we need a sword. So let's make a sword. To make a sword, we need a sword blade. I think we need a guard of some sort. We can use a crossbar, a hand guard, or a wide guard. And I'm going to use the hand guard because that's going to give us a long sword. And we need a stick, which we've already got. Okay, so we go to here, and so our choices were broadsword, longsword, and rapier. And I'm going to use the longsword because that's the thing we made, and that's the one that I like the best of those three. The rapier is good at piercing armor. Broadsword is good at dealing damage, but its range is slightly lower. So I've got this wooden sword, woohoo, and we're going to go ahead and kill him. So this is actually a lot harder if he wasn't so close to an untainted area. These things are vulnerable to melee attack as long as you don't expose yourself to the taint. Here's what I mean by that. If I were to hop on this taint, he's going to shoot these little things up, and those would kill me. So you can just clear the taint like that, by the way. I'm going to run over here on this untainted lands where he can't touch me unless I get too close. And I'm just going to whack him away right here. It takes a little while with the wooden sword, but it's definitely something you can do. Now, I got this thing, and I want to... Okay. Almost as soon as I picked that up, it infected me with taint flu, or taint poison, as you can see in the bottom right there for a second. So that damaged me a little bit. And normally what I would do is I would just save those for now, because those are useful for creating things later. But, alright, it's good that I have the sword. Okay, so let's do some mining. So now that I've killed him, we're going to go west. So let's just pick a spot. How about right here? I think will work if I can visualize that correctly. Actually, I could do it right here. And the nice thing about mining is we're gonna start grabbing some blocks, which will be useful for a number of reasons that we'll get into. We'll be able to create a furnace. We can actually create some stone tools if we wanted to, but I think hopefully we can find some flint before we need to resort to stone tools, and flint's going to be just all around stronger. And we've got some blue schist coming in here. Now this is one of the really cool things about this mod pack is the fact that, that they use actual rock types rather than just stone cobblestone. We've got some dirt here. Normally I wouldn't be excited about dirt, but in this case I am because we're going to need some of it for farming. In fact, I'm going to use this mattock to grab some of this dirt real quick. And I'll have to rebuild my stairs there, obviously, but this dirt is going to be useful for farming. By the way, the mattock, you can see, takes damage fairly quickly. That's because it's a wooden tool, and wooden tools are crap. And we're going to be switching out of wood in the very near future. But I just wanted to grab some of this dirt real quick while I'm thinking about it. So there we go. Okay, we'll have a chance to grab more later if we need it, but let's just go ahead and rebuild these stairs like so. And it's like we never even... I'm going to remind myself that this dirt is here by creating that little cavity there. Okay, oops. Whatever. Okay, so we're going to keep mining straight down. And we're going to need this cobblestone anyway for, like I said, furnaces and things like that. You know, this isn't really so much of a building mod, although you certainly can build, but you don't really, you know, it's really more about advancement. What I was hoping that I would find maybe is a little bit of coal and some gravel are the main things. And I know that actually I remember seeing some coal upstairs, so I might just go grab that because it's getting dark and I'm sure you guys can't really see what the hell I'm doing. So let me do that so it's a better video. Now, one thing that you really should think about doing almost right away is building stairs. In order to build stairs, I need to actually mine a little bit differently. But why don't I do two things? Why don't I do this? Actually, no, I'm going to use the schist for it. So this is one of those underground rocks. I think the name of the mod is Underground Biomes Constructs, which is great. So kudos to the creator on that one. Very nice job on that. I'm going to throw some of this clay into these little holes that we created earlier. And I'm going to grab this coal, like I said. Did our pickaxe already break? No, it didn't. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, it's broken. So what we do, you don't need to use a crafting station or anything to do this. You can just go like this. Grab some of the material and repair it like that. So we took a wood plank and we repaired our tool. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. Okay, I can't mine that yet. I need flint first. Okay, that's great. Well, I don't see any gravel. You know what? Sometimes you find gravel out in the coastal area, though. So let me just pop out there. Okay, that's going to cause me to have to potentially deal with a mob or two. So I'm gonna deal with him. Okay, I'm not even gonna grab that right now because I haven't built any chests yet. And I'm gonna go to that boat in the very near future. Don't worry. Oh, okay. Hi, Mr. Sheep. Don't kill me. The range on these swords, I think, has been nerfed a little bit in this mod. By the way, if you go to the water, you're safe from taint poisoning from the land there. So it's been nerfed a little bit, and I think that's like the range is like shorter or something. So I don't really know if that was designed to make it a little tougher or what, but it is. Okay. Well, not seeing any gravel immediately, and maybe it's because of the biome. I mean, I think we'd see more gravel if this was like a swamp or something. This is one of the factors that probably led the folks to conclude that this was a little bit tougher of a starting location than other areas where you'd have gravel and, let's say, sugarcane and things like that right away. So we're going to actually maybe have to go somewhere else to find some gravel easily. Oh, nope, I found some. Right there. And actually, it looks like there's a bit of it here. So let's just, it's going to take forever. There. I'm going to get rid of this taint so I theoretically don't get infected while I'm doing this. Now, you can use a Maddock, but I actually think it's the exact same speed to use your hand on gravel. Maddocks don't like gravel. They like dirt. I'm not sure about sand. I can't remember sand, but they don't care for gravel in any particular way. So I'm just gonna grab, a half a stack of gravel or so, and hopefully one or two of these will give me some flint while I'm breaking them up. Because that's really I know I can mine coal with flint, and that's gonna allow us to actually do some real mining. And in the very near future, we're going to have to start worrying about food, too. And I think that'll be next episode, is getting our flint tools, doing some actual mining, and worrying about food. There's a flint. Excellent. Now we're on a roll. That's great. You're going to need this gravel anyway, besides for the flint. You're going to need it for Tinker's Construct stuff in a little bit. So just go ahead and grab some of the gravel. And we're going to use that to make some grout eventually, which is going to be used to make a smeltery. So you really can't go wrong with harvesting as much of this as you can get your hands on. You're going to need clay and sand as well. And I know there's sand down in that channel, and I think I might have seen some clay as well, but it was kind of tough to see. By the way, as you can see, I've healed from my little bout with the sheep earlier. I'm just going to stop at a full stack of this, and we're going to go back. So I need 11 more. By the way, this is rhyolite, another type of stone. One thing I guess we could do real quick before we end the episode is a little bit of geology stuff. Okay, there we go. The full stack of gravel. Actually, we got an extra one there. Okay, so let's go ahead and head back. We'll come back here if we need a little bit more. Or maybe I should just finish it out. I wonder how much more there is. Why don't I just finish out this deposit of gravel? I'm going to need it anyway. Hopefully it's not too boring. But anyway, so this episode, we basically made some primitive tools. Now, why they would send you into a hostile alien environment with virtually no equipment, that's what we call a plot hole. But that's okay. Okay, so we got sand, obviously, down here. Yeah, the Maddock doesn't like sand either. It mainly likes dirt, so grab a couple. I'll just grab the one for now. Okay. By the way, you can kind of fight these guys from the water if you want. And there's a number of different types of rocks in there you can see, which is cool. I wonder, is that coal that I'm seeing there? That might be coal. You can kind of fight these guys from the water, though, and they're going to be reluctant to come in and join you. So, if you're in a bind, that's a good method to use. You can see them on the mini-map, too, by the way, so that's useful. By the way, there's tentacles and another enemy type called a swarm spawner. Are these red question marks on the map, as are the teleporters, interestingly enough. So, there you go. By the way, this biome is called the Arches, or this region, at least, is called the Arches. And that's because there's this arch here, there's an arch here. Kind of cool. Okay. So, I'm going to finish this episode by doing the geology quest and finishing it up. Okay. So, if I go out from the instructor tab, a couple things. I can go to the supplier. We're going to do that next time. But I'm just going to go to the geologist. And we're going to go stone samples. It wants me to give him some cobblestone. So one thing you should know is that you can go ahead and take any type of igneous stone. Let's say blue schist. Let me grab some more of that. And you can turn it into cobblestone. I think you can use the schist to do that. But just in case, I'm going to grab some actual cobblestone. But I think you can actually do this with the schist as well. So I'm going to grab 4 of these. You may not be able to do it with schist. Well, it looks like it because it cobbles, okay? Some stones don't cobble when you mine them. Some do, like limestone or chalk. They don't cobble. They just give you the pure form of the stone. So if I take my schist and I make a little pattern like that, it'll actually convert it directly into normal limestone. Or, I'm sorry, cobblestone. So if I go to my geologist, I can turn in my cobblestone, grab some reputation, and it unlocks all these. Now, there's some things you can... This one, they just want a whole bunch of cobblestone. We can start turning that in if we want, but I probably shouldn't have done that. Also, there's sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. And blue schist is metamorphic, so I just turned in 1 out of 1. If you get a sample of all these different types of metamorphic stone, it will give you a reward and a significant amount of mission outlook. Different types of rocks have different granite, andesite, etc. All these different cool types of rock in this game are awesome. And then you can actually, you need coal and stuff, and you get all these rewards from rock stuff. Scouting, we can scout, we can go find other locations. Paranormalist is basically Thaumcraft and botany, or whatever it's called, Botania. Colonist is basically your main quest line to win the game. Xenobiologist is alien-related stuff. See, I could have turned in that taint stuff that I was getting earlier. There's a couple more. Engineer is technology. The black market is a good way to turn in extra materials for reputation, and the dark one is something that's kind of a mystery that we're going to look into later. So that's going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed watching this, I hope you will come back and watch the next episode, and we will pick it up here when we come back on Let's Play Blightfall.